So let me explain you the task for lab 4, which is going to be on addressing modes in 8086. Okay, so before that there was some doubts which we had in the last class about the sign flag and carry flag. So let's clarify those issues. I did a simulation with these data, and I didn't find anything abnormal with the carries and sign flag and overflow flag. So let me explain what I did. So the first thing I did is 7 move AL7F, okay, which corresponds to 127, right? So this is the binary representation of 127. So if you see, this is the max positive 8-bit value which you can represent. So I added 0 to it. Okay, so again the result is the same, right? So now if you see, when I checked up the carry flag, sign flag and over flag, it was all zeros out here. Okay, the next thing which I did was I added 1. Right, now it is 80H, although 80H, okay, right, in hexadecimal. In binary this is going to be okay. So this is, although this is an you can call it as an valid 2's complement number which corresponds to minus 128, but it is it was taken as invalid by the processor because it is taking plus 127 to minus 127. And now if you understand the hardware, how an overflow is generated, it takes an XOR from the that we learnt in the digital class also. It takes an XOR from the last carry and the carry prior to the last, right? So if you see, there was a carry from here to here, right? While adding 0 1, there was a carry which was coming in the most significant bit, and there was no carry, but there was one carry coming into the most significant figure. So when you take an XOR, it will give an overflow condition, right? So that is why the overflow is 1, the sign is 1, because this was the MSB is 1. So that is the reason. So it works fine, right? So when we say an 8-bit data, actually the system takes plus 127 to minus 127, right? Hexadecimal for an 8-bit number. Okay, it doesn't take minus 128, right? And if you see the hardware also, it is an XOR between the MSB and the carry. If there is a carry coming into the MSB, or if there is a carry coming after the MSB. So that we learnt in the digital class. So it was working fine. So this was meeting the requirements. And then I did one more operation wherein I took minus 1. Okay, so this is minus 1. All ones, all 8 ones, that is minus 1, and then I added 2 to it. So then what the answer was 1, right? So minus 1 and plus 2, the answer was 1. And then this was the binary representation. This is the, so you had an I had an carry flag, and some is sign flag was 0 because this was a positive number. There was no overflow. A carry was there, but we know that carry needs to be neglected in this case. Similarly, I did 2 more operations like this, and everywhere I didn't find any discrepancy, right? So you can re-verify these things once again, and if anybody has got any result which is coming contrary to what we should get, then you can let me know. You can mail me. We will have. I just checked up with the 8-bit. I guess it should work for the 16-bit also, right? So only thing is we need to clearly understand the representation. So once that is done, I don't think anybody will have any problem. In case there is still any problem, please feel free to mail me the code and the details. Okay, then we will look. I will look into it, and then in the next class we'll clarify the issues. Okay. So coming to today's task for the next week, this is what the first task is going to be. You need to do an immediate addressing mode. Immediate addressing mode. Okay, what it means is this we have covered in the theory, but still it will kind of revision now here. We have to move 2 datas immediately into the registers. The first move AX, that is you are going to move an 16-bit data into AX, and then the next command is going to be move BL06, so 8-bit data is going to be moved into DL, right? So what we got to observe out here is, firstly, see the CS, the data is 7000. It is there in the flag register, which is default there. So all the now syntax what you write, okay, it will be taken, and then or we write original, we write 100, right? So it is going to compute the first, this is going to be the IP 100, and then because you have written org 100 out here, this is going to be the IP, this is going to be the code segment. So now if the physical address calculated from these two will be 07100, which will be available here. So you need to also verify that move AX, let me, okay, this move AX 005, this we have learned how to write an machine language code, right? So move immediate opcode will be 1001, because this is a word, so I put a 1 here. 000 corresponds to the register AX, okay, so referring to that chart which I shared with you all. So this is going to be the data. So this is 8, and this is 9, and this is 8. So if you see here, it is going to this is B, right? This is B and this is 8. So you find it is B8 out here, and then the lower displacement is 05. It's 05 here, and then 000 here. So if you see, the correct machine language code is written here, right, in these memory locations. So this is in the hardware implementation, right? This is the code which is going to be fed into the memory location. Okay, again, actually speaking, it will be a binary value which will be fed here, right? But we write hexadecimal because binary is going to confuse you a lot, because if you that is why if you ones and zeros will be, there will be 8 ones and 0 combinations of 8-bit ones and zeros. It will be very, very difficult to comprehend and match things. So that is why hexadecimal things are written here. So if you see, this is the code which is written here, right? You need to verify that whatever is the machine language thing conversion what we learned and what this is doing, it's the same, right? So you need to verify that aspect, and then once you do, you also need to see that the IP now moves by 3 bytes, right? Because it's a 3-byte code. In the next, when you do the next button, you will find the IP has increased by 3, and this is the code for now. Now in the second instruction, it's just a 2-byte code, because it's only an 8-bit data. So you will find that is available here, right? So, and then finally you need to see the results in now after the first click, you will find the result has come 05 in the first register. After the second move instruction is executed, you will find the next data is available in the BL register also. So you need to do these kind of things, and just verify what you have learned with the results what you are getting. So you, okay, so the second exercise what you need to do is direct addressing mode, right? In the direct addressing mode, what we are going to specify the address, right? So here you are putting some data into AX, right? And that data, you are initializing the DS with that data, right? You can't push any data into data segment register directly. It is always, you can only move from one of the common user registers to the DS. So to put in data, like now we want the memory logical address to be 2162 and then offset to be 481, okay, in this example. So to get this into the DS register, first we move the data into AX, and from AX we move it to DS, right? And the offset, now offset, it is given here, you need to have an offset of 481. So that is 1E1 in hexadecimal, right? So now what we do is, we are going to move into this is the data which we want to verify whether this data is finally going into the memory location. So that is the reason we are moving some data, say 24 into CX, okay, and then into the move location, right? And then we are finally moving the data from CX to 481, right? So now again from 481 you are moving it to BX. So we just have to verify later on that in this particular see 24 represents actually 18 in hexadecimal, right? So if you have to see that whatever in logical address we have set here in that memory location, have we able to move that data or not. So you can go to that memory location. Okay, this I have explained you how to go to this memory location. You can go there. There is one view memory also option is also available, or in the main window itself you can type this memory address, or you can go to view memory. There also you can see this. So you have to ensure that in this memory location 8 hexadecimal 18 is available, right? So this is your task. So so that is done in 2 steps by giving the value of 2162 in the DS register, and then putting the offset, okay, 481. Here it is written in decimal itself. If you don't put an H, it will automatically take it as a decimal value, or you can write 1E1 and then followed by an suffix H, right? That also can be done here, right? So here whenever we write if you don't write H out here, then the compiler will automatically take it as a decimal value, right? Okay. So my suggestion would be not to use a mix of decimal and hexadecimal. Okay, keep using hexadecimal everywhere. Okay, so this is the second task which you need to do. Okay, is there any doubt till here what you are supposed to do? No. Okay, so let's move forward. Okay, so the third task is easier. We just have to move some data between 2 registers. Okay, so you are going to move some data into AX, you are going to move some data into CX, and then you have to show that from AX you are able to move the data into DX, right? And then you also have to add CX and DX and see to it that the contents of CX gets amended with the sum of CX and DX. Okay, so you just have to monitor all these registers with each command and show that whatever is intended, that operation is happening out here. And then you also need to see how the IP moves out here, right? With each of these commands, and is it jumping by 3 or 2 depending on. So you have to correlate it with the number of bytes the machine language takes. Okay, so that also you need to know correctly. So this is third one, and the fourth operation which you are going to do is base addressing mode, right? In which you have BX, right? And then you are going to move this address into BX, and then you are using BX plus an offset. Okay, so this command which is written here is because this is the actual physical address. Finally, it's going to be a final offset, which is BX plus 08 is going to give 0018. Now, if you want to verify whether this operation has been done correctly, you need to push in some data into that memory location. So this move 0018H 005 is essentially we are preloading that memory location with this data and then doing this move operation and verifying whether the data from that particular memory location, okay, which is now represented as BX plus 08H, is coming to AX register or not. Okay, so this verification you need to do. So we know how to see the registers, how to see the contents of an memory location also. So you have to do this step by step and ensure that whatever we have done, whatever we have written, it's being executed in the same manner. Also, it's important that once you try to do the physical address calculations manually, and also try to verify the machine language code also, whatever it is written out here, right? So if you do that, you will automatically get prepared for your exam also, right? Because these are almost all the addressing modes are being catered for in this lab experiment. So if you try to correlate the physical address generation, the machine language code also with what you have learned, So you will be able to do everything in your exam also, right? So if there is any error in your understanding, okay, that will get resolved here, because you are seeing what the machine language which the compiler has generated, right? And then that cannot be wrong usually. So obviously, if there is a mismatch, that means there is some problem with your understanding. So I'll advise all of you for when you do all these things, okay, it will take another 5 to 10 minutes, but keep checking the machine language code manually with what is being displayed out here, and match it, okay, so that you are well prepared for your quiz and your exams. Okay, later on you just don't have to worry about it. Okay. So the fifth one is going to be the indexed addressing modes. Okay, here again we are preloading in the first command. Here what we are doing is, after the OR, we are pushing some data into that memory location, and we are in 0022H, and we are accessing that SI register through SI register. So we are moving again some data into SI, and then adding one more offset to SI, so that these two together when added up is resulting in this. So and then we are moving move AX. So now this data which was initially moved into this memory location should be available in AX. Okay, so these are simple. So you have to see the values out here in these registers, how they are changing with each of these commands. Okay, so try to do this. So these are all pretty simple things which you should do, right? And then the next one is base indexed addressing. Now here again we are going to push some data into this memory location, and this memory location now is being the offset is being generated through base indexed. Base indexed means BX plus SI plus another offset, right? So if you add up this BI, this SF, and this offset, it will come to 0033. So this is the address. So again you can do this, and then you can run it and see the contents. Okay, again here, see, this also is going to be a different machine language code, right? It is going to have, so try to do that also, so that you are familiar with all the types of conversion addressing modes, and how to convert all the various addressing mode instructions into machine language. So please do that, and run this program and verify, right? And then you have register indirect addressing modes also, in which again here the value of the DS is being preloaded with 0708, right? And then the value of SI is being loaded out here with 42A, and then we are moving the contents of CX registers into the address which is specified by SI, right? So these are all very similar. So you need to do all these 7 runs. Okay, and then you have implied address modes, in which implied address mode, wherein it is the instruction is implied, no specific register is mentioned. Like for example, when you write pop A, the contents of all these 4 registers will be put into the stack register, right? So we are initially putting 4 different datas into 4 registers, and when you are writing pop is going to fetch the data, right? So in this case what happens is, if you write just a program like this, if you write pop A, all these registers will become 0, because initially pop A is going to get data from the stack register, and by default all the values in the stack register will be 0. So if you do that, all these registers will get reset to 0. Okay, that is what you can actually do is, you write a push command first. Okay, you write a push command, then you can see that in the stack register all these 4 data is going to be available in consecutive stack registers. Okay, so which is the location, how do you check where it has gone? Okay, stack register. Can anybody say how can we compute, once I write and push A, in what memory location will the data be available? Anybody? We have learnt it in the theory class, right? Can anybody say in what segment, and how do we compute? Nobody? You learnt it in the theory, right? When we do a push command, all these register datas will be pushed into the stack register, right? So how do we compute the address? Yeah, it will be in the stack. So you will have to this is the stack segment, right? And after the stack segment, whatever is the stack pointer, right, you compute these two values, you calculate the offset, right? Now if you remember, I had explained it in the class clearly. Okay, first starting from here, okay, this it won't be in this particular offset value. Okay, this is generally, the stack will generally point to the here you will have the data of the last data which is available in the stack, right? So leaving this, from it will start from the very next. Okay, so if you see the stack memory, so these four, in the next four memory locations, this data would go starting. This is the stack segment, this is the stack pointer. So these four will go into those memory locations, four memory locations, right? And then after that you can write move bx command and put these two zeros, okay, zeros in all these things, and then again use a pop a command, pop all command, and then see that those same what you had pushed is coming back into the respective registers. Okay, so modify this code, just don't do just a pop, do a push and a pop, and also see while you are doing push and a pop just verify which register is the data being pushed to, which memory cell, what is the physical address of the memory location where this data is being pushed, and how it is being recalled back. Okay, so just verify that whatever we learnt in the theory, just try to verify this in the practical thing also. Okay, and then this is again when we use a variable, right? This is right when you write a variable. I told you a1 and a2, these are the MASM directives. Okay, when we write a1, okay, write 1 2 3 4 dB like this, what the compiler is going to do is it is going to write these data 1 2 3 4 5 into some temporary location, right? So we are not able to see that temporary location, but when we write this command, the compiler is automatically going to write this data into the data segment. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 5, these are all 5 binary numbers. It will push it into 5 consecutive memory locations. Okay, and the starting of the memory location will be a1, right? When I write a2 db5 dupe 0, what it is going to do is it is going to earmark 5 consecutive memory locations, and then put an because dupe 5 means duplicate 5 times. Okay, so 5 memory locations. It is this 0. When I write 0 out here, it is going to put 0 in those 5 locations. So it is going to find. Now when I write LEA-SI A1, so whatever the compiler has decided an offset value of its own, okay, that comes into the SI register. Okay, and then when I write LEA-DI, then whatever the compiler has decided A2, so that would come into DI. So now once you run the program, you can see what is the value in SI and DI. Initially they will be 0, but once you write once you run these two sentences, these two instructions, the A1 and A2, whatever the compiler has decided, so those offset values will be available here. Then you can go to those memory locations and see whether these data are available there. So from A1 you will find 1 2 3 4 5, that data is available. Similarly for A2, from this location onwards there will be 5 zeros available, right? And then you can move CX5, right? And you can write move SB. Okay, what does move SB does? This is the string addressing mode. It will repeat it. It is going to move the data from the source and put it into the destination. So once you do that, repeat 5 times. It will keep repeating 5 times. Every time this counter value will change, and it will automatically increase because you have written clear D. Okay, so that means the direction is 0. So that means SI and DI will increase with every repeat operation. So it will, so obviously this data 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will now be replicated in data in the memory location starting from A2. right? So this is how we are going to, you have to, once this command is completed, you need to go to A2 location and then see whether this 1 2 3 4 5 this data is available there. Okay, so the A2 location, like I said, will be available in the DI register, and the A1 memory location will be available in the SI. Is it okay? Has anybody got any doubt in this? No? Okay. So let me move to the last one. Here we are going to move some, just move some data into the, from a port into the AL register, and also move some data into the AL from the move some data from the AL register to the port. Here the port numbers is given as 8080. So you need to do this as the last part. Okay. This I will just demonstrate to you. Because this 80H will not be available in the emulator. 80H is the port number, right? So but the 80H is not available. I'll show you what is the port which is available. Okay, so these are the problems which has been given. So you can go through these problems. It is the same thing which I have explained. So as per these problems, you need to do it here. Okay, it's the same thing, only the values are different from what I have explained to you. So some address, like here DS is different from what I had explained to you. So these are the problem sets. So you need to do all of them. Okay, so let me close this and then right, I have just written in AL 6EH. Okay, that is the port address from where this data would be coming in into the AL register, and then I have written out 70 ALH, that is the port address into which the data of AL would go. Okay, I'll also explain you why I have written 6E and specifically these two port address. Once I do the emulation, I have a virtual device option out here, right? So I have something known as simple.exe. So this emulator actually has got here, it has got, let me move this a little bit, has got two ports out here, right? So these are 110 and 112. Okay, these are binary 110 and 112. So there are two ports available inbuilt in this EMU emulator. So you can't write any value. So so that is the reason I have written 06E, which is corresponding to 110, right? So and 070, which is corresponding to 112. So there are only two ports which are available in this emulator. So if you have to do any input output simulation, we need to use these two ports only. So let me just write some data into that. Let's write let's initially put some values 20 and 30 in these two port addresses. Okay, so if you see the hexadecimal 14 and 1E is available in these two ports. So if I when I do this first operation, so you will find 14, that is 14 which is from this port is fetched into the AX register. Okay, whereas in a BX it is 1E, in the next port 112 it is 1E. So if I do the second operation, so it is going to move the data of AL into that port. So this also has become 14H, right? So this is how you can see a port. Okay, so the emulator provides two ports. Okay, you can see virtual, you go to virtual devices and then you have some LED display, printer, robot, and so simple.exe is two ports. We will learn about the other things also slowly in the next few experiments. Okay, so I hope this is clear. So you need to do all these things and then be ready for your Viva next week. Okay. If there are any doubts, you can ask me now. No doubts? Okay.